Okay, so this video is about the first group of letters in my lessons based on the I stroke. I'm going to try and explain the structure of the I stroke as used in my lessons, and hopefully this will help clarify some of the points that are hard to explain in writing. So to begin with, the I stroke is kind of a basic stroke. Let's divide our x height in thirds. So this is the first third, middle third, and the bottom third. The I stroke, a lot of activity happens in the last third. The first two the top two thirds are it's just a shaded stroke. In this last third, what you will do is start lifting the pen, which means reduce the pressure on the nib, simultaneously moving it slightly to the right. What that does is that it keeps the right side of this shade pretty much straight while the left side starts curving to meet it. And as you lift off, by the time you get to zero pressure, you should be slightly to the right of the right side of this shaded stroke. At this point, I recommend my lessons that you lift off for a bit. You don't have to lift completely off, just slightly off, so you know that you have zero pressure on the nib. And from this point on, you'll start making the exit hairline. The exit hairline has a slight curve to it in such a way that by the middle of the X height, it should match the slant of the slant guides. This ensures that if there is a letter following this one, the join will be seamless and it will just flow naturally into the following stroke. So this is the basic structure. I'm going to now these lines are drawn a 1/4 inch apart, which matches what I have, matches the guide sheets that I make available for my lessons. I will try and write at double the X height, at 1/2 inch X height, hopefully showing the process a bit more clearly. I don't think I can manage writing at 3/4 of an inch, but here goes. So to start with, we apply pressure, maintain it for the top 2/3, and slightly moving to the right until we reach the baseline at a little bit to the right of the right side. Now, kind of luckily, I had some railroading issues, which clearly shows the 2 times moving. And then at this point, I'll make the exit hairline. Now, if you notice, the transition on the inside is pretty sharp. It's not smooth. It's actually the outside of this shade that continues over to the hairline to make this rounded turn. The inside is pretty sharp. It's the outside that makes the curve. This is the shaded stroke. So this is the the bottom part. So once again, let me get some ink in it. So we start with full shade width, start tapering off, meet the baseline a little bit to the right of the right side of the shade, and then do an exit hairline, making sure we are matching the slant angle by mid X height. And then we go up and square the top by making a little 7 at the top. If there's a gap here, we just fill it up. I prefer this method of squaring the top rather than concentrating on getting it right in one go, because well, in time you will learn how to do this. It's almost automatic, but it's not really that consistent. So I prefer doing it this way. Even though I can manage doing it in one go, I'd still want to go and touch up to make sure everything's perfectly lined up and horizontal. So this is the basic eye stroke. Now this stroke is getting this stroke is important because the reverse of this stroke is used in the compound curve, as well as the letters like M and N. And also this one stroke also gives you a bunch of other letters. Like two eyes. Well, this is the eye stroke. It should ideally start with a hairline to begin with. Now this hairline is an entry hairline, this is an exit hairline. They're identical because this exit hairline would be the entry hairline for the next stroke. So two eye strokes next to each other will give you the letter U. Now I messed up on the slant on the first stroke. It's a bit upright, which we don't want. Now if we take the second eye stroke, the exit hairline, and by mid-X height it matches the slant. If we continue up and about a third of the way down, we make this kind of a blob. I don't know if there's an official name for it. We will get a W. Making this, I'll move down a little bit. If we, considering this is our X height, if we go half an X height above, so make a long stroke, we get the letter T. If we go again another step down, this is our X height. If we go 2 X heights above, we'll get the letter L. Again, extending the L to the waistline and finishing it like the W will give us the letter B. Again, I keep forgetting these entry hairlines. You should use them. What else? So yes, I, U, W, T, L, and B. Now at a smaller scale, these transitions are not as visible, but they're there, and it might not be very visible in the video, but when you're doing your exercises, they should be fairly visible. Now I'm making these shades a bit thick because I guess kind of used to writing at double the size, but they should be a bit thinner than what I have over here. So something like this is probably better. And then we go back and we square the tops, so we have a nice W. For the T, you'll come to middle of the first ascender space, and the crossbar is between the waistline and the top of the T, and the L would go to full ascender space up. Now here I made the transition, I started it too early. I started it at half X height. This is something to watch out for. So, well, I've touched it up not very neatly, but this is something you should know. Now in your fair work, don't worry about it too much, but in your practice, you need to be very strict with yourself. It basically takes the pressure out of your fair work when you're doing a composition or writing an address. So this covers the basic eye stroke. Hopefully it clarifies things a little bit better than what I can manage to write. If there are any questions, please feel free to let me know. My lessons are available on Wet Canvas, the Flourish forum, and I'm shortly going to add them to the Fountain Pen Network under the calligraphy subforum as well. So hopefully this will be helpful for you. Let me know in case of any questions. Thank you for watching.